Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby, the first official video for the fan forum-ish type thing, we'll start that over.
Keep it in. Keep it in. Keep going.
Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby, our first official video covering some franchise rugby. Jake's laughing because we blundered the start on this one, so we had to restart it. Okay? Now, the way that we're going to do this is because I'm in South Africa and don't really get the broadcasts for the Gallagher Premiership, Jake is going to be hosting that side. And because he doesn't really watch the URC, we'll kind of cover this side of things and we'll just inform each other as we go along. Because I don't know about you, Jake. Tell me how the build-up has been for the Premiership. Because I just made a video last week talking about the URC that it just felt a bit different. It just feels like an exciting time where last season felt like it just started. I just woke up and it was game week 6. This time around, the build-up has been sensational.
I don't know really. I thought it's been like normal. I haven't seen the attendances in the Prem seem all like normal, but some people have been complaining like it's not been because some of the Lions players are coming back, so you've missed a couple of the internationals in the first 2 games, and obviously Rugby Championship you're missing a few. We English clubs obviously have a few Southern Hemisphere players. That it's not been sort of an electric straight from the start, and it's going to get better from now. But I think it's been fine so far. I've enjoyed it. I think the games have been good quality still.
Well, now that I mention it, it could possibly just be because of the team that I'm supporting with the Stormers. They've kind of switched things up a bit, like obviously a new sponsor, new look jersey, kind of getting the stripes back to give it that Western Province feel instead of like the Stormers just normal blue. And they've also started this thing that you usually see in football or soccer at the moment, where it's like a behind the scenes thing where you actually get to see the emotional type background of the players. So it just it's a new way to get hyped up for it. And then obviously it's been a good start to the season. If your first game is going to be the defending champions, obviously
it helps that you're playing Leinster at home and you're not playing, the Dragons away on the other side of the world,
Yeah, you are fully correct. Anyway, we'll make this video kind of a bit different than we'll do, let's say, in the future, because we'll kind of cover the first 3 game weeks that we had of each tournament. No look aheads yet, because we'll do 2 of these every single week. But if you're a fan of rugby, just like talking about shit when it comes to rugby, that's basically all we do. Literally all we do. Right, so please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Anyway, we'll start off with the URC. First 3 games in. And to think, defending champions, they've won 1 game. Only 1.
They've had some tough away games in South Africa, haven't they? But yeah, how do you feel they've done so far? Like they've formed. Do you think they should have done better? Because I saw the team sheet for that Stormers game in round 1, and that was not a bad team sheet. But they've obviously done better this week.
It's a strange one. That first game against the Stormers, they were utterly embarrassing. Leinster were dreadful. And I think every Leinster Irish fan could say that was dreadful. I was a lot more impressed going into that game against the Bulls. You just know the Bulls at Loftus. It's very tough to beat them there. But they showed signs, well, not showed signs, showed all the signs that they've improved from the first week. And then in the third week, they absolutely hammered the Sharks, like absolutely played them off the park. Now, the thing is, we're sitting with this weird situation where, as you just mentioned, that team from Leinster, when they toured to South Africa, that was by no stretch of the imagination their strongest team. They were missing about 10 players. But it was by no stretch of the imagination their weakest team, because we've seen those guys play a million times, a lot of international caps there as well. And when you are a team that kind of forces everyone to say, look at their squad depth every single time that they play, because their third team beat whoever, then you're kind of setting yourself open for criticism if your second team gets absolutely whacked like that. Because then, what are we just supposed to act like you haven't been talking about the squad depth, right? So it's kind of one of those things. But if you just look at this weekend, they might have been caught extremely cold, and they absolutely played the Sharks off the park. This will still be a scary Leinster team.
Yeah. No, yeah, 100% agree. You know,
Are you surprised you didn't call for Jock Nienaber's head?
Who should we talk about? Like, who's top of the table right now? Who's top of the table? You. Casual
Stormers.
Okay.
We'll take that all day long. It's been a good start to the season for the Stormers. As I said, there's just a bit of a different feel to it. Last year, I had to cop a lot of grief with the Stormers because we had about 20 injuries, and I was never able to use it as an injury, albeit it's obviously part of the reason that you struggle. If your team literally makes a post about 20 players that they've got injured to kind of cover their ass for the bad performances, then you know it's bad, right? Do you remember that game where we traveled to England to play Harlequins and we got absolutely thrashed? Yeah, so it was a bad state of affairs, but we are lucky now to not really have any real injuries. Obviously missing a couple of Springboks, but still the bulk of the team is there. So it's been a good start. I'm not going to sit here and get ahead of myself because the Stormers are a very good team. When we had our full strength team run about the last 3 games of last season, you just saw the stuff that we did. I think we played Benetton that was sitting in 6th and put 52 points on them. Get what I mean? So it is a talented team and we expect a lot more. But the way that I'm just approaching this season with the Stormers is Leinster, we didn't take anything from them last season, got 5 points this time. Ospreys, I think we got 1 point there, maybe not. We got 4 points there. So that's 9 points already that we didn't have last season. So yeah, good start and everything.
The crazy thing is though, you've nilled 2 of those 3 teams that you played. I mean, the defense must be unreal right now. Only conceded 1 try in 3 games. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like at patches, we play brilliant rugby. At other patches, it doesn't look good. That Scarlets game, any Stormers fan will tell you we were not good in that game. But somehow we got 34-0. How does that even make sense? Like Sasha and Damien played after being with the squad for 3 days. They didn't even really train with the team, and you could see it. Like the chemistry just wasn't there for that time. Obviously, it will improve, but you could see it. It was bad. Did you see? And I actually have a question. This is a question to you as well. The Springboks don't do, or the South African teams don't do well at when they're on the road. This is not new news. Everyone knows this. And I made a video yesterday talking about how nothing brings me more joy than seeing all of them get shit on, right? Because that's obviously the rivalry that I grew up with. I'm like Stormers and only Stormers. I love all the Bulls players and those type of things when they're wearing green and gold. When they play for the Bulls, they could lose every game. I'm not this all South African franchises on top. I want my team on top. Screw the rest. I've grown up to hate them. That is rivalry. Now, my dad's on the other side of it, where he's just like, all the South African teams have to do well, right? Like, obviously, he supports the Stormers, but then he wants all the others to do well. What's your way of thinking regarding that in the Prem?
I don't know. I think right now, I want to be on your mindset, but I feel like the Prem has been struggling. It's not really struggling because it's actually getting like really good numbers, but financially and just against some of the French teams you've seen in the last 5 years, they've been like struggling to keep up completely. Like sort of like 80%, 90% of what the French do. So I do kind of back other English teams in like when they're in Europe to try and do well, to be honest. So I like to be your mindset, but just for the good of the game in the sport in this country, which is less of a concern in South Africa. It's not that concerning here, but I just want it to grow more.
To be fair, it's actually a bit different because of the fact that your league is only English teams. right? Where we go and play abroad and those type of things. So it's a bit different. If I had to break it down, do you support the southern teams more than the northern teams or whatever?
Would you support a URC team against the Prem or top 14 team in the Champions Cup?
Yeah, I would support the URC team. Because then it's about ego in terms of who's got the better league. Because then obviously it makes that your team is playing in the better league, and we would have beat you as well. That it's kind of that type of ego thing. But yeah, as I said, the South African teams, I just don't know what's going on. Obviously, the Stormers won this weekend, but I wouldn't have been surprised if we somehow lost. Right? Just with the South African teams on the road. Do you reckon it might just be like a mental block thing?
I would say, to be fair, these are some difficult fixtures. You've had like the Lions away to Benetton. Like Benetton are just a better team, probably, you'd have to admit. And they've, the Sharks against Leinster. That's fair enough, especially to some of the players the Sharks are missing. So really, the only one thing right now is the Bulls losing to Ulster. I mean, they've had a few good signings, to be fair, this year, but you'd imagine the Bulls should do a bit better. I mean, I see Pollard started. I'm not sorry, watched the game, but I don't know how many Springboks the Bulls had. So should they have done better? What do you think?
No, they should definitely have done better. The problem is, firstly, Ulster, they've only played 2 games because I think they had like thunderstorms in their second game, so it got cancelled. Yes, but they looked good in their first game. And they looked brilliant in this game. Like the Bulls were in it for a bit, and then also scored like 3 tries in 5 minutes, which was absolutely crazy. The score was like 7-7, and then all of a sudden went to 28-7, which is crazy.
And that was during a yellow card for the Bulls as well.
Yeah, deserved yellow card. Just a bit of foolishness. No, but the thing is, I don't look at it as just losing. I look at the performances. The Sharks were nowhere to be found. Obviously, credit to the teams for beating them. I'm not saying this as taking anything away from them. But if you look at the handling errors, just knocking everything, stupid errors that they make, it's just like the Bulls. Handré Pollard, plain and simple passes at like 2 meters in front of Kane Moody. Moody doing stupid stuff like picking the ball up and throwing it away and then conceding an extra 3 meters on it. Like, it's just rookie errors that slip into all of our teams when we go abroad. It's like we forget how to play rugby.
And they were missing some players, the Sharks, but that's still a pretty strong team, isn't it? It's not bad.
Yeah, even full strength team, they still find ways to lose games. Yeah, no, the Sharks are a weird story. All the investment in the world, but just can't put any performances again together. Look who's got on the score sheet. Ethan Hooker again. He just always finds a way to score for the Sharks. And it was an intercept.
Yeah. It's not a full strength Leinster team yet, really, is it? So it's a bit worrying.
No. Still no Gibson Park, still no Kalen Doris. Yeah, good few names that they still could have added.
No Prendergast.
Burns starting this weekend. He played very well. He played extremely well. Going onto that, Munster's also been looking good. A lot better than last season. I'm excited to see where the Irish teams place this season. Because I think if you take the objective view, except for Leinster, who had a very good URC season, I think they lost 1 game. The standard that they've set last season, they weren't up to scratch. Ulster weren't good. Connacht wasn't good. Munster kind of only snuck in there right at the end. This season is a massive season for them, especially when you look at the 6 nations that passed at the start of the year, where we said this is not the same Irish team. It feels a bit strange. They kind of need a massive URC season or a massive start to the URC season, especially with the Irish internationals coming up now. This is a golden opportunity for Ireland to kind of rebuild and get some young guys through the door on the international scene. But you got to see that talent when it comes to the franchise rugby as well. What's your kind of point of view with the state of Irish rugby at the moment? What do you think needs to happen?
Well, I always get people shouting at me when I say this from Leinster, but I don't think their system, their central contract system, where they basically pay all of Leinster's main Irish wages. I think it should be capped to like 3 or 4 central contracts per province. And so, if you want to get paid more money and stay in the URC, you've got to go to another province maybe. And I think they'll rebalance things. Of course, it will hurt Leinster and their performances in Europe and stuff, but I think you've seen Munster and Ulster, and maybe not so much Connacht, but it feels like their fan bases are just stagnating a bit because they're not as dominant as they were sort of 15 years ago. I know Munster did win one URC, but when was the last time either of them got to a final in the Champions Cup? Whereas sort of 15, 20 years ago, they were regulars in the finals, both those provinces. So that's just my opinions.
How long do you reckon until you see a South African team in a European final?
Oh, I don't know. I need to think about it. At least 3 years.
3 years from now, yeah.
I don't think there's the depth and maybe the. I think it's the calendar doesn't help with the time the Springbok games are, but I don't know. You just seem to underperform a bit in Europe because you do like a lot of you focus on Europe.
On the road.
Yeah,
on the road.
Yeah.
I think it's possible to get it done like this year, maybe next year, if one of the teams have a favorable run. Like,
in theory, you should be doing better because you don't play around the Six Nations time. So it's just a lot of you sort of don't. A lot of the teams underperform in the group stages, so you have it tough there. If you got to the knockouts, you might do quite well after that.
I could be sounding like an idiot now, but didn't the European Cup have the rule of like the home games for the South African teams wouldn't be played in South Africa? Or did they get rid of?
I can't remember. I know the Cheetahs they'll keep playing away when they're in the Challenge Cup, but I don't know how it works. The Champions Cup ones, it might be a thing.
Oh, the Sharks had it where I think they and then they decided to play at Gloucester, wasn't it?
Right,
or something like
maybe. That. It rings a bell. It does ring a bell. But I don't know. I feel like they should let South African teams play in South Africa. If you're going to invite them in, then you should let them have their home advantage. But I just can't see them winning over some of those French teams, especially because they take it more seriously.
Yeah. Just a final point on the URC. There's a team. There's only 2 of them in the tournament. The one's always kind of taken the limelight. Benetton. They've always kind of played the impressive rugby. But that's kind of the expectation of them now. Like, it's not a new thing with them beating some of the big teams and playing the nice brand of rugby.
Yeah.
But I remember when the South African teams came into the URC, beating Zebra was kind of a given. Like, yes. They haven't won a game in 3 years or 3 seasons, something along those lines. And every single time they start to up their performances, but they just don't get the results necessarily. We are in this crazy world where there was 2 games played and they won both their first games. So a team that didn't win for the first time in 3 seasons won their first 2 games. And they are playing some of the most beautiful rugby that you could possibly see. Like, young guys, just flary, running rugby, playing with confidence. What a team to watch! Like them, especially when they're playing in Palma, dude. It is so beautiful to watch these guys play. Do you reckon if Zebra has one decent season, that could be the confidence needed in that team to get the investment into that team to kind of shift them forward and closer to the likes of Benetton?
It's just difficult, isn't it? It's difficult because they're run by the Italian rugby union, so they can't like spend loads and loads and loads because they're trying to also put it into other grassroots stuff in the Italian national team and all those sorts of things. I mean, they nearly cut it a year ago. Remember, they literally talked about getting rid of Zebra and putting in a different Italian team, or maybe it'd be better off if they sold it to a private investor, maybe. I don't know. But for now, it seems to be starting to perform quite well. I mean, I'm looking at the team sheet. There's a lot of good players there, a lot of young players as well. So it's exciting for them, I think. Also, you're saying, can I get up to Benetton's level? I mean, they're not in like as much of a rugby heartland as Benetton. And I think Parma is also a bit of a smaller city than Treviso. So I think I'm not like an expert in Italian rugby, but from what I know, Benetton's like in a real hotbed.
Well, if you draw the comparisons between Zebra and, let's say, for instance, Edinburgh, a few seasons ago, Edinburgh felt like the it team from Scotland, right? Like you look at the names that they had, that was a scary team. I put my money on Zebra to beat them, and they beat them.
Yeah.
Like the drop off of Edinburgh is obviously, it's been by some distance, but they should have been thrashing Zebra for the longest period of time, and Zebra's just kind of tipped the scales a bit, where it's like not even a surprise when Zebra beat them. What's your thoughts just on the Scottish teams? Because Glasgow is kind of that team where if there's three certainties in this world: death, taxes, and losing to Glasgow at home. That's basically so. If Glasgow can find a way to just win 50% of their away games, they sorted for top 3, top 4 spots.
What you call them, Scotston bullies, whatever. There's no Brixton bullies, Scotston bullies. I don't know. The Scottish teams in Glasgow doing well as per usual. I mean, Edinburgh should always be performing better. I mean, it's more of a rugby city than Glasgow to start with, and then just the quality of the Scottish national team. Like I know some of them play abroad, but there's only 2 teams. You've got to imagine, both of them should really be performing quite well. Edinburgh, how many have they won so far? They had the second game postponed.
They still got the names. That's the thing. Like Edinburgh, obviously, they have lost a good few players.
Was
to
it
be fair to them,
I heard it was an unlucky loss to Munster or something. I didn't watch the game.
It was very close. It was very close. I think they were in the lead for most parts of the game, and
they were
then
away,
lost it at the end.
Yeah.
That was the same time as the Stormers game, so I didn't manage to watch it like live or anything.
Yeah, it's a decent team. They've got a few internationals, and I'm not sure about some of the lower players. I'm not sure what their quality is, but I mean, it's still quite a good squad, isn't it?
Yeah. No, as I said, like big names, big names, but I've had to adjust a lot in terms of if you lose like 12 players, and some of them are big players like the likes of Jamie Ricci, it's a big loss because that's obviously someone that's experienced, that's good, and that's probably part of the leadership group as well. That's gone right there.
Yeah.
So you need a few guys to kind of replace that one guy. And I think Jamie Ricci is probably one of the guys he's playing the best rugby that he has in a good while. I mean, we remember watching the Six Nations and he was
he nearly got into the Lions. People talking him to get into the Lions. He was that good,
out of nowhere. Because you think about the Lions and it was like, what's the position with the most depth? Probably your Lucy's. And Jamie Ricci somehow snuck in there into the conversation. Like, what's bro doing? Yeah, and deservedly so, because he was playing absolutely brilliant rugby. But yeah, Glasgow just doing Glasgow things. I think they're third on the log at the moment. I expect them to still be there at the top. Beating them at Scottstown is just the impossible.
Yeah.
Like that should have been the final Mission Impossible movie. How to beat Glasgow in Scottstown. Like it's crazy. I can't remember seeing them lose there. That's how crazy it is. Anyway, let's move over to the Prem. What's been the exciting teams there? What's been the exciting news going on in the first couple of weekends?
I mean, before yesterday, Saracens are doing quite well, and they've got 2 wins from 2. So it started the best team. Also, a lot of the news, exciting stuff was just their social media was they kind of been trolling. Who'd they beat first week? They beat Bristol the second week, and then they beat Newcastle Red Bulls first week, and their social media was doing pretty well. And then sadly, Harlequins beat us in a big London derby. We just had derby weekend in round 3. So, Harlequins got lucky. And
you met the best player in the world there, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw what's his name, Damien Willemse, walking around the stoop, which is pretty weird. I was like, I'm sure that's Damien Willemse, that's my friend, and I looked on his Instagram and he'd been there, so I was like, yes, knew it.
What's the deal with the Red Bull Newcastle Falcons type thing? Is this like a brand new sponsorship that's come in, or
they're owners? They now own the whole club, so like they own RB Leipzig or just the Red Bull, of course, F1 thing. They're complete owners. They're completely in control of Newcastle Red Bulls, previously Newcastle Falcons. I mean, the club was going nowhere. Like, it was losing every year, bottom of the table, really. Not last season, but the season before, they didn't win a single game. So yeah, they needed it, and they nearly went under this summer, I reckon, before Red Bull came in. But I mean, thank God they have. They came in too late in the summer to really get good signings, so they're still the worst team in the league. But at least
they're the richest team in the league now.
Yeah, but they are one of the richest team in the league now. So in the next 2, 3, 4 years, at some point they will finish in the top 4. I'm sure of it, or at least competing.
What's it with these investors that like teams from Newcastle? Now, Newcastle Falcons, Newcastle in the Premier League, also getting bought by the Saudi what's his company?
Yeah.
They like Newcastle.
I know it's got quite a cool name. It's Newcastle. I don't know.
Isn't there like a running joke that Newcastle is like part of Scotland?
No, not really. No one really believes that. They're just next to Scotland. But I mean, no, I wouldn't really say they're part of Scotland. They don't think they're part of Scotland. But there's a bit of a talk that Gregor Townsend is sort of coming, because they sacked their coach, Steve Diamond, after one game this season. And he was great, so I don't know why he did that. But there's rumoured Gregor Townsend's going to come in, and they brought in like the Scottish Pathways guys, and they're so close to Scotland. They like bring in a load of Scottish under-18s into the academy and that sort of thing. But I don't think that will happen, really.
Well, imagine if the Red Bull company came in and they said, "Okay, we'll buy the club over, but we're making it part of Scotland. It's part of the URC."
That never happened.
And then you guys can pull out like Worcester Warriors out of 30, and then we'll get Newcastle.
Yeah, I think Newcastle, probably going back to the point why Newcastle, I think it's known for being quite a fun city. Like, it's one of the best nights out in England, they reckon. Lots of people say. So that's probably a bit of it. And just the Newcastle United thing helps. It's a massive football club. The first thing they've got to do really is probably improve the stadium after they improve the squad, because it's a bit of a dive. But
is there like a mid-season transfer window like they have in football as well, where they can kind of look at a way to boost the squad?
Well, yeah, you can always get in like people out of contract and it's short-term injury cover and that sort of thing. But the players they will want to target, their contracts won't end until the end of the season. So unless you want to pay extra to buy them out, you might as well wait till the end. You're not gonna finish in the top 4 this season. You might as well just focus on getting your processes right behind, off the pitch, that sort of thing. Maybe improve your training facilities, your medical equipment, all that sort of stuff, your physios, your staff, your coaches, and focus on recruitment, as the year goes on for next year.
How long do you reckon until they could be a proper threat? Let's say for top 4. Let's say if they do their business practices correctly, they get the right investing in.
Yeah.
Newcastle feels like an area that's very passionate. I wouldn't be surprised if their stadium absolutely rocks on match day. Like, as you just said, like it feels like it's a good night out in Newcastle. So you can imagine them playing a game and then afterward you go and eat the pub or whatever. So it could be a good vibe. So I reckon the fans would be behind it. It's a new beginning if you've got new investors and stuff. How long?
Not next season after. So 2 years. 2 years we'll have like a borderline top 4 squad, I think.
Do you reckon they don't place last this season just because of the moral boost that they've got?
No, they've lost the first 3 games. They just got beat 57-5 to Sale Sharks. Sale are a very, very good team, but I can't see them not finishing last. I mean, Exeter finished 9th last year. They look better. So then it's look maybe Gloucester or Harlequins, but both of them can perform to a much higher level than Newcastle can right now.
Okay, so who's been kind of the standout teams in terms of what the expectation has been, or who's impressed you so far this season?
I mean, Bath are a standout team. They won last year. They won the Challenge Cup. They won Prem Rugby Nonsense Cup. But, they've won 3 trophies last year. They're just by far the best team. Their squad is absolutely stacked. They just brought in Chris Harris, sort of Scottish international centre, and then Santi Carreras from Argentina as their sort
He's
of
probably playing his best rugby at the moment as well.
Yeah, and he's a backup. He's a backup to Russell or de Glanville at 15. I mean, if you don't watch the Premier, you won't know Tom de Glanville, but a very solid fullback, probably like fringe England maybe. But yeah, I mean, it's just the quality they have is just ridiculous, and the depth. I mean, Thomas Atoy is on the bench after Will Stewart at tight head. That's just what it's like at Bath.
Yeah, but everyone knows who's better between the two.
Well, it doesn't matter who's better, casual. It just shows you that.
Well, it's that's not a biased perspective. Thomas Atoy won Prem Player of the Season and then won Bath Player of the Season the year after in his first 2 seasons.
Yeah, Will Stewart's been playing very well though, but Thomas Atoy's better career. I mean, better form might well go to Toy.
To be fair, Thomas can play out on both sides. So they'll be fine. I see Saints are sitting in second. I'm guessing a bunch of their injuries that they had is back. They kind of remind me of the equivalent of the Stormer season from last season with the URC. So many injuries that it's kind of you almost have to forfeit whatever is happening because you have half your team.
Yeah.
But they're sitting in second. How have they been playing?
So they're both of the first 2 games are like the first half out of the blocks straight away. They're like 13-0 up at half time in both those games, and they ended up drawing the first game to Exeter and then winning by 3 points at Gloucester. So like their second half needs to improve, and then they played Leicester in this East Midlands derby. That's a big game at that one, and I mean they played well, but they did get a couple of injuries. George Hendy, fullback, back 3 player. Very good. He'll play for England one day. I'm sure of it. I mean, he's exciting to watch, and he's done some leg injury. And he was also injured a bit last year, and so that's a big loss for them. George Furbank, England international, still not back really. Tommy Freeman came off, so he might be injured for Yorkshire now. I've not seen how long he's out for. He got injured just for half time. Tried to come back on the second half, and after a minute, it's like, no, I've got to come off here. Ollie Slightholme, another fringe England player, is injured. So again, all their back 3 options are out injured. Alex Mitchell and Finn Smith started this game for the first time since the Lions tour, and then Pollock was on the bench. But yeah, they got some class players. They're the best team. They're the best team in the league to watch as an attacking team.
Was Henry Pollock involved in the first 2 games?
No.
Or because the reason I'm asking is I saw a clip of them saying that that's the first impact that he's made on the field. So I was wondering if he had just a slow start or if he was potentially like injured before that.
He wasn't involved in the first 2 games. Came on in this game off the bench and got like a turnover within a minute or 2, and it's just like, oh, here he is. He's back again. So
he has a rat tail.
Rat tail?
Do you know what a rat tail is?
Oh, ratter.
Rat tail.
Rat tail. What, the hair?
Yeah. Like the little piece of hair that's like...
Pollock?
Henry Pollock had a little rat tail.
No, I missed this. I'm going to check this. I'm not sure about
that. I'm telling you now. It's facts.
He's lying to me, I'm sure.
Why would I randomly lie about that?
I didn't see that.
Go on the Rugby Pod's TikTok. That's why I saw it.
All right, I'll have a look in a bit. I'm not sure if there's any other teams used to talk about. Leicester Tigers had James O'Connor came on for them, so that was interesting. As well, one more about Bristol. their injuries are just insane. Like in the first 2 games, they lost Harry Randall, sort of England 9, AJ McGinty, who's I think is grade 10 still. They lost Lewis Rees-Zammit, obviously just come back from the NFL. They lost a centre. They lost
Tom Jordan.
BETWAY. If you've not watched Gabriel BETWAY, he's a winger. He's one of the most exciting wingers to watch in the world. He's got his weaknesses, but he's electric when he's got the ball in hand. And then they lost Tom Jordan to a red card. So they've just lost their entire back line. And the only ones left is Ravovu, who's a Fijian winger, and then Bernhard Jansen van Rensburg. But other than that, they got no one in the backs.
That's crazy. What's the team that you would say look out for this season? Because they could be just dealing with a couple of injuries now, but could wake up, or a team that's just got a slow start, but they'll find their way again?
I think it's just obvious answers right now. I mean, Bath going to be the team to beat. Northampton, if they don't get injured, are going to be up there, and they could be up there in Europe again. Saracens had a disappointing year last year, but they're still strong. They've got a big forward pack.
How's Faz been since he's come back?
Oh, good, really. Like he's not being, he's not like. It's difficult because he's not that sort of player who's going to like light things up, but he like drives up the standards of everyone, if you know what I mean. So sometimes it's difficult to equate how much impact he has just from watching on the field. But I mean,
very Andre Pollard-esque.
yeah, kind of. To be fair, the current top 4: Bath, Northampton, Sale Sharks, massive forward pack, and then Saracens. They're probably the 4 best teams already in that, as they are.
Well, we've only got 2 more weekends left, and we'll probably start hearing next week because we already saw the New Zealand squad announcement for the Autumn Nations tours as well.
And
it's a massive couple of weeks for the franchise guys to kind of, especially for you guys, right? Like the Springbok team will the squad will pretty much stay the same as to what played on the tours and in the Rugby Championship. But for the likes of England, Ireland, France, those type of things, you've got a couple of young guys. If you want to represent your country, now's the time to kind of put up your hand. Start the season with flying colors, and then maybe get a selection. Is there anyone so far from any of these teams that have put up their hand that's kind of like an underrated shout to get into that England setup?
Into the England setup?
Do you think Arundel will be there?
What's that?
Do you think Arundel will be there?
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, that's a good shout, actually. I mean, he's had a pretty good start over the first 3 games. Yeah, he's definitely going to be one up there, especially if Freeman's out injured. Yeah, I don't know, really. I'm just trying to think. Oh, you put me on the spot here, casual.
Well, you got Ollie Lawrence back as well, so you'll probably need some game time for England as well.
We just had a Summer Nations tour against Argentina where a lot of them were B players because half of the team was in the Lions. So it's kind of like you've seen the fringe players now, and I can't see too many people, getting into that squad who wasn't in Argentina or Australia already. So yeah, it's really like Farrell or Arundel because they're coming back from France, maybe.
Okay, fair enough.
People, do you think there's been any standouts in this URC for players who could get into Autumn Nations from South Africa or the Northern Hemisphere nations?
There's one guy from Ireland, and I thought he had a good season last season as well, but he's decided to get rid of the hair and go on the buzz cut. And I've seen other people talking about him as well, but he played outside centre this weekend. Jacob Stockdale.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I thought it was fullback this week.
Yeah, apologies. It was fullback. Yes. He's been good. I don't know why they just don't give him an opportunity. Like, I know James Lowe's good. I know Mac Hansen's good. I know, Tommy O'Brien is good. He's absolutely lightning. But is it Tommy or Jimmy O'Brien? I always get confused with the two. But Jimmy. Jacob Stock, he's...
That's 2, isn't it? That's right, Tommy. It's 2. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, especially with Hugo Keenan out now as well. If you're looking at the way that Jacob Stockdale played this weekend at fullback, maybe even giving him an opportunity out there on fullback. I don't know how long they're still going to go with the Bundi Aki at 12 role. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with him, but you've got a Jamie Osborne there that I think plays very, very well at 12, but he could potentially be playing at 15, seeing that Hugo Keenan's out. But if you play Jamie Osborne at 12 and maybe like a Jacob Stockdale at 15, that could be something interesting to see. I like the start of Jorno Augustus at Ulster.
He's a quality player.
He is quality, and obviously he would have gotten his opportunity for the Springboks, but got injured right before that. So he'll probably want to prove a point to at least be in the squad for the Springboks, because unfortunately for him, Jasper Wiese has come back. It looked like an absolute demon. Like, the guy has been unreal. And he's playing in Japan, so it's not like he's going to be physically drained when he comes to the end of the year. I'm trying to think. The 10 is going to be very, very interesting. I think they might go back to Crowley. So obviously this weekend is going to be a massive between Sam Prendergast and Crowley until you realize Burns starting.
You know what? Ross Byrne has been at Gloucester, and I don't want to be like mean to him, but he's been absolutely atrocious.
Well, you focus on the younger brother. The younger brothers always have the skill set. Harry Byrne. I think Harry's younger.
He was at Bristol last year. I thought he played quite well, Harry Byrne. Yeah.
I know they get a lot of grief, but Harry played very well this weekend. Like, he was controlling that entire backline a lot, because Sam Prendergast had 2 glorified stinkers in South Africa. He started well against the Stormers, like with his kicks out of hand, but after that, kind of just found himself in no man's land. And then he played against the Bulls, missed penalties, threw the interception pass to seal the game for them. Defensively is a bit fragile. Like, I'm not trying to knock on the guy, but you have that, and then Harry Byrne plays one game, and it just looks like he's playing with all the confidence in the world. Obviously, he's played with James Lowe and those type of guys, but still.
Yeah. Sorry, I've been distracted by a spider on the floor. You know what? I thought of a young player in the Premiership, and it's not an English player. There's a guy from Northampton called Edoardo Todaro, Italian. He's from the Northampton Saints Academy, but he's Italian, sort of, you know. And he's scored 5 tries in the first 3 games. Apparently he's not even a winger. Apparently he's like a centre. He's like 19 years old. This is proper could be good for Italy in the future. So I reckon he could sneak into an Autumn Nation squad, because Samoa are going to play Italy this autumn, and because they haven't qualified for the World Cup, they're going to that repechage tournament. So I think Chile are taking their place, which I think would be an awesome opportunity for someone like Todaro to get a chance maybe for Italy.
Yeah, but it always feels so weird with the Italian players, where it feels like they've got dual citizenship. Like, they can choose between Italy and Argentina, and maybe even England or whatever.
I was going to say, there's actually quite some good Italian wingers right now as well. Like, I saw Liner got 4 tries at Benetton. I quite like Pani at Zebre, Menoncello can play there, Wani. So Caporzo as well. So
the entire first 15 of Italy, I would say, is good.
Yeah,
they just got to kind of build on that depth. That's where obviously like Zebre comes in pretty clutch if they can build some confidence into those guys. And get them
looks like they're building up a lot of backs right now, especially wingers, as I said. And they've got that Scalabrin, who I've not seen him play at top level, but he's meant to be like the best under-20s winger in the world or something.
Yeah, so, remember they've got Jake Paul playing for them as well.
What?
Anyway, that wraps it up, people. As always, thank you very much for watching. We do appreciate you guys. Remember to go and show Jake some love on his social medias as well. 24-hour Rugby Jake.
I'm going to try and get that vlog. I went to Harlequins with my mate, and it gets quite messy. So you should definitely watch it. If you want.
Jake, then just get it out early, because you posting stuff like 4 weeks late makes no sense. Yeah, anyway, everyone, ciao.